Hello, this is Mesa, and I'm doing a commentary battle for Shogun 2 Fall to Samurai expansion. So, I'm playing on the Tranquil Streams map, and my force consists of 2 Black Tortoise forces, 2 White Tiger forces, 1 Azure Dragon force, 1 White Bear, 1 Red Bear, my Soviet bears, 2 Revolver Cavalry, and 1 Armstrong gun. My opponent has 3 Imperial Infantry, 1 Black Bear Infantry, 1 Infanterie de Marine, 2 Yari Cav, and 1 Carabine Cav, and 1 Parrot gun. One huge mistake I did right at the start was not hiding my general behind cover, so he is killed. Well, the announcer says he's just hurt, but in effect he's out of this battle. And that caused my army to have a huge morale disadvantage right out of the gates. So, yay, what a start. So my opponents are charging me with 3 cavalry units, and I know I can't stop him with my 2 revolt cav, but I know I can at least halt or assault for a few seconds while I get reserve units into position. So my revolt cavalry charges out of hiding and manages to catch the enemy cavalry somewhat off guard. Unfortunately, my cavalry breaks immediately. The combined morale loss of a dead general, gunpowder cavalry, and a number disadvantage proved too great. And the fact that my Armstrong guns are firing at my own guys doesn't help either. So I rushed forward my Red Bear Infantry and White Bear Infantry to try to deal with the situation and beat his cavalry back. I think my opponent's plan was to place his cavalry at the back of my infantry and just charge when his infantry was engaging with my infantry, and that would have proven a huge morale loss, but we will see what happens. It is always a pain defending your back lines without cavalry support and only 1-2 units, because your opponent is most likely to try to flank you, and it's a pain to reform your lines every time, and your infantry aren't fast enough, so you will most likely be charged from the sides while you are trying to turn around. In the meantime, I focused my Armstrong guns on his general, and I got 1 shot off, but I didn't kill his general. And his cavalry isn't doing anything, so soon I'm going to try to take advantage of that and rush up to the top of this hill and try to blast him. We'll see how that goes. So upon realizing what I'm doing, he's running away his cavalry. Seeing that his cavalry is running towards my right, I try to change the position of my infantry to meet his assaults. So his Carabine cavalry are going to try to face off against my Soviet bears in a 1-on-1 gunfight, and he will soon discover that that is a pretty bad idea. As demonstrated right here. So his Carabine cavalry are routing, but he still has his other cavalry, and they are attacking my other flank. I don't know if he tried to go for my Armstrong guns or not, but if he did, he ends up getting caught in my White Bear infantry. In the meantime, my front lines are engaging with his front line, and it's a losing battle at this point. This was a pretty bad idea of my opponent, surprisingly, using his infantry marine with superior range to have close combat with my guys, but they are so elite anyway, so they end up routing my guys. Plus it was 2 against 1 on that flank. And my White Bear infantry actually won the melee fight, which was surprising to me at the time, but looking back, I forgot about the damage my revolt cavalry actually managed to do before they routed, which was pretty devastating. Speaking of, my frontline infantry are getting pretty devastated right now, and 2 out of 5 units have already routed, and it looked like the remaining 3 are soon to follow. So I'm losing pretty badly at the front, and I need to get my elite troops up and support my guys, but they are pretty far back at this point. In the meantime, my Armstrong guns are doing everything they can to help my situation, but we can't win the war with just cannons, unfortunately. Now my elite units have almost reached the front lines, but his parent guns are picking my elite units apart. Trying to, anyway. So at this point my opponent has routed more units than I have, but these units are a lot more depleted than mine. So I retreated one of my low quality troops back towards the line of my elite units, and that caused the other unit just to break immediately. And it's a pretty intense firefight at this point. Every unit is engaged except for his and mine general's bodyguard, but at least mine will be coming into play pretty soon. Most elite unit, the infantry, the marine, is pretty depleted at this point and is going to break pretty soon. But some of his imperial infantry beat into it.
Damned lily-livered cowards!
Yeah, and my low quality troop, the last remaining units, routes. So I charge forward with my general's bodyguard, knowing perfectly well that I can't win the battle, but I can at least halt this assault. For time being at least. But sadly it didn't do very much, because my Soviet bears are soon going to rout. In fact they did, and my general's bodyguard as well. So my only remaining unit is the white bear infantry, which has pretty many troops in them, but it doesn't really matter at this point. So his 3 pretty depleted units easily defeats my 1 half depleted units. So I lose the battle and get a rare valiant defeat.